Hi, everyone. I'm Sandy, an interpreter with California State Parks. Welcome to San Alejo State Beach Campground and your self-guided tour. This stop, we're going to talk about watersheds. And we brought you to the most southern end of the campground so that you could view this interesting water feature behind me. It kind of reminds me of a river, but is actually an outlet flowing out from the estuary located across the bridge. And the estuary is called San Alejo Lagoon. And it has beautiful trails and a great nature center, lots of birds. So if you want to take a little trip over there while you're here, it's a great stop. Also, it's the final stop in our local watershed called Escondido Creek. And we're going to talk about watersheds today, why they're important, how they work, and how they connect us to our one world ocean. And we're going to take a look at a model of a watershed right now.
Here are the different areas for the watershed: neighborhood, wilderness area, the industrial center, the farm, and the ocean. You are out one day taking a walk in your neighborhood with your favorite furry friend. Of course, you are using biodegradable bags to clean up, but you notice someone didn't clean up after their pet. When it rains or someone is watering their grass, pet waste can drain into the soil or into gutters, carrying bacteria with it. Some of that waste can run through the gutters, and we know they eventually will drain into the watershed. Here is the wilderness area. Generally, nature can usually take care of waste from wildlife, but adding pet waste is harmful. At the farm, stock animals are often crowded into pens and fields. Overcrowding can cause excess waste to enter into nearby creeks and underwater aquifers, polluting the watershed. Back in the neighborhood, as you continue your walk, you might see a neighbor washing their car. Grime, suds, and oil from the road are all washed into the gutter, eventually ending up downstream. Oil can also enter the waterways when folks do not recycle after an oil change. Most shops will recycle oil. At the farm, oil might be used to maintain farm equipment or as fuel and should not be poured into the ground. Hazardous waste should never be added to trash containers in our neighborhoods. For example, old batteries should be taken to a community collection site. You can find them online. Paints, fingernail polish, weed killer, and insecticide, turf builder products all contain chemicals which can cause sickness and pollute the watershed. At the industrial center, manufacturing can often create byproducts which can be hazardous as well. On the farm, weed killers, antibiotics for animals, rat and mice poison are extremely harmful to the watershed, carrying those pollutants down to the estuary and eventually the ocean. What about regular trash? Well, trash in our neighborhoods is usually most visible on the day of trash collection. Wind can blow bags, containers, and other trash in the air. By far, the most menacing type of trash is plastic. It never biodegrades. Some of the most common trash items we see at the shore and in our neighborhoods include straws, bottle caps, coffee stirrers, and water bottles. Unfortunately, cigarette butts are common too. They leak nicotine, arsenic, and other poisons directly into the areas around our neighborhoods and along the watershed. When you're in wilderness areas, be sure whatever you pack in, you pack out. That's very important. Now, when the water arrives, either in the form of rain, through watering the grass or crops, the current picks up and all is washed down through the lakes, creeks, and streams that make up the watershed. Krusty the Krab is not happy. His ocean home is being invaded by pollution.
You had a chance today to see how a watershed works. And we've seen a lot of negative human interactions along the way. But there's a lot of positive things we can do every day at work, at home, and when we're at a state park and recreating. Just a reminder, limit your single-use plastics or eliminate them. Get rid of trash, recycle when you can. And we want to make sure that we keep our watersheds clean because we know we want to keep the ocean clean.